Hello. The members in our group are Christina Gonzalez, Hopi Martinez, and me, Sharice Heskey. We chose to do our project over the Chernobyl disaster, which was a nuclear accident that occurred in 1986 at the Chernobyl nuclear power station in the Soviet Union. It was also considered as the worst disaster in the history of nuclear power generation. This occurred when technicians at a Unit 4 reactor attempted an experiment that was poorly designed, which caused a big explosion. Thousands of people contracted serious radiation sickness, with some even leading to death. The radioactivity was spread by wind over Belarus, Russia, and eventually leading to France and Italy. I feel like this is a very important topic to talk about because not many people know about it. So I feel like now that we've brought it up again, it'll make people more interested in wanting to know exactly what happened. And also, if you watch Chernobyl Diaries, I believe it's on Netflix or anywhere else, it talks about how it happened and all these unknown things that are happening over there right now.
When this event occurred, it had major impacts on both the agricultural and the natural ecosystems in Russia, Ukraine, and other neighboring countries. Firstly, severe radiation effects causing 28 people to die in the first 3 months and 19 in the next following months. Radioactive contamination began to spread like a wildfire, which affected several millions of people. Radiation exposure, which caused long-term effects on the people in those countries. Imagine not being able to breathe and not being able to perform day-to-day tasks. I'm sure it was like that times 100. This catastrophic event also caused thyroid cancer in children. In 2005, more than 6,000 thyroid cancer cases had been diagnosed. Now, there is no exact research that says it was all due to this event, but more than likely could have been caused due to the high intake of radioiodine. Even though years have passed, it's likely that the amount of people with thyroid cancer in that area can increase. These are just some of the ways these countries were affected. This is something that could have been prevented if this was taken more seriously and had more supervision. This is something that can definitely happen again if not taken the right precautions. There are lives that are still being affected by this, and I'm sure that it took a couple of years to even reach normalization in health.
And an event like this could have been prevented if Russia had only taken a few more precautions. So most nuclear plants have a concrete containment, and this helps prevent radiation leakage. But Russia's structure was basically a metal pole barn. Also, the U.S. uses water as a moderator. Basically, you need a moderator to make it work, and water works less well as it heats up. So if a reaction starts to get too hot and fast, the water getting hotter automatically helps to slow things down, and water doesn't burn. In Russia, they use a carbon block as a moderator. It works better as it gets hotter, so as the reaction starts to get out of control, it gets a heat boost, but it burns in quite well. By the time the operators figured it out, it was too late. It had caught on fire and blew through the structure of the building. Another problem was the failsafe. In the US, we use control rods that will shut down the reaction that came from the top. They are suspended over the reactor. In an emergency, you cut the cord and they fall into the water moderator. In Chernobyl, the rods were inserted from the bottom to the holes in the carbon block. When the carbon block got too hot, it started to swell, which shanked the holes a bit. The hydraulic insertion mechanism was not strong enough to jam in the rod all the way, so they couldn't shut it down. So the design was just terrible. And this causing one thing to happen after another, it just all ended in disaster.